Lisa Martinez sat in the cold metal chair and watched the aliens argue. The Galactic Council chamber was huge and filled with creatures from across the galaxy. Some looked like giant bugs. Others were made of crystal or metal. A few looked almost human but with wrong colors or too many arms. She had been coming to these meetings for 3 years. Every time, it was the same story. The aliens would talk and talk and talk. They would make rules that helped them and hurt humans. Then they would smile with whatever they used for mouths and tell her it was for the good of everyone. Today was worse than usual. The tall bug creature named Zekth was speaking. His voice came through the translator as a flat, boring sound. "The human species shows too much aggression," he said. "They want to explore too fast, they build too much. They ask too many questions." Lisa looked at the other humans in the room. Admiral Jake Turner sat to her left. His face was hard like stone. Dr. Rachel Burns was on her right. She was the smartest person Lisa knew, but even she looked tired of this place. "Humans do not understand proper behavior," said another alien. This one was gray and had tentacles instead of arms. "They need more guidance from the older species." Lisa wanted to laugh. The older species had been stuck in the same star systems for thousands of years. Humans had explored more space in 50 years than most aliens had in their entire history. But somehow humans were the ones who needed guidance. The chairman of the council was a creature called Veltar. He looked like a walking tree with eyes. His voice was deep and slow. "We must vote on the human request for mining rights in the Kepler sector." Lisa sat up straight. This was important. Humans had found the Kepler sector. They had mapped every planet and moon. They had found rare metals that could help everyone in the galaxy. All they wanted was the right to mine some of it. One by one, the aliens voted no. The bug creatures voted no because humans were too aggressive. The crystal beings voted no because humans moved too fast. The metal robots voted no because humans did not follow proper procedures. "The vote is final," said Veltar. "Humans are denied mining rights in the Kepler sector." Jake Turner made a small angry sound. "We found that sector," he said. "We mapped it. We discovered the metals. How can you deny us the right to use what we found?" A blue alien with 4 arms spoke up. "Finding something does not mean owning it. The galaxy belongs to all species working together in harmony." "Working together?" Lisa asked. "When do we work together? You take our discoveries and give us nothing back. You use our technology and tell us we are too primitive to understand it. You live on stations we built and then complain that we build too much." The chamber filled with angry sounds from the aliens. Some buzzed like insects, others made grinding metal noises. A few just stared with big, cold eyes. Veltar raised one of his branch arms for quiet. "Ambassador Martinez, you are being emotional. This is exactly why humans need more time to mature as a species." Mature. Lisa had heard that word so many times she was sick of it. Humans were not mature enough for this. Not mature enough for that. Not mature enough to make their own choices. "Perhaps," said Zekth, "humans would benefit from focusing on service industries instead of exploration. There are many worlds that need basic maintenance work. Service industries. They wanted humans to be janitors and repair workers while the aliens took credit for all the important discoveries." The final blow came when Veltar spoke again. "The Council has decided to suspend human deep space exploration rights pending a cultural review." "A cultural review?" Lisa asked. "Yes, we need to study whether humans are truly ready for the responsibilities of galactic citizenship. This review may take several decades. Several decades. By the time the review was done, other aliens would have claimed all the good star systems. Humans would be left with scraps and service jobs." Lisa looked around the chamber. These creatures thought they were so wise and advanced. They had been part of the galaxy for thousands of years. But what had they actually done? They held meetings. They made rules. They argued about procedures. Humans had been in space for less than a century and they had already changed everything. They had found new worlds, created new technologies, and solved problems that had puzzled aliens for generations. But none of that mattered to the Council. She stood up slowly and gathered her papers. Jake and Rachel stood up too. The entire chamber went quiet. "The human delegation withdraws from the Galactic Council," Lisa said in a clear, calm voice. "We thank you for your time." The silence lasted for exactly 3 seconds. Then the chamber exploded with sound. Aliens were chittering and grinding and making all kinds of noise. The translators could not keep up with all the different languages. Veltar's deep voice cut through the chaos. "Ambassador Martinez, please sit down. You are obviously upset and not thinking clearly." Lisa picked up her bag and walked toward the door. Jake and Rachel followed her. Other humans in the chamber started to leave their seats too. "This is a temporary emotional response," Veltar called after them. "Humans will come to their senses within a few days." Lisa stopped at the door and turned around. The entire Galactic Council was staring at her. Hundreds of aliens from dozens of worlds, all looking shocked that someone would just walk away from their great and mighty council. "No," she said. "We will not come to our senses. We will not beg to come back. We will not accept your service jobs and your decades-long reviews. Humanity is done with the Galactic Council." She walked out. The sound of alien voices arguing followed her down the hallway, but it got quieter with each step. By the time she reached her ship, she could not hear them at all. Jake sat in the pilot's seat and started the engines. "So what now?" he asked. Lisa looked out the window at the massive Nexus Prime station. Humans had built most of it, but the aliens acted like it had always been there. "Now we go home and tell everyone what happened. And then?" Lisa smiled for the first time in months. "Then we pack up and leave. All of us." The ship pulled away from the station and jumped into hyperspace. Behind them, the Galactic Council was probably still arguing about procedures and proper behavior. They thought humans were throwing a tantrum. They had no idea what was coming next. President Daniel Brooks stood at the podium in the United Earth Assembly building. The room was packed with representatives from every human colony and settlement. News cameras from across human space were recording everything. 3 days ago, our delegation walked out of the Galactic Council, he said. They did this because the Council has made it clear that they do not want us as equals. They want us as servants. The room was completely quiet. Everyone knew this moment was coming, but hearing it said out loud made it real. Today, I am announcing that all human settlements, stations, and ships will withdraw from Galactic Council. Space. We are going home. The room exploded with questions and voices, but Daniel raised his hand for quiet. This is not a punishment for the aliens. This is not revenge. This is simply us choosing to build our own future instead of begging for scraps from theirs. Across the galaxy, humans were already moving. Commander Alex Rivers stood on the bridge of the huge Titan station and watched cargo ships load the last of the research equipment. Titan Station was the biggest human research facility in Council space. It had 50,000 people in laboratories that were the envy of every alien species. "Sir," said his assistant, "the Velkari observer wants to know why we are packing everything." Alex looked through the window at the Velkari ship floating nearby. The tall, bug-like aliens had been watching the humans work for 2 days. They seemed to think it was all very funny. "Tell them we are reorganizing," Alex said. "They will figure out the rest soon enough." In the quantum research lab, Dr. Katie Bell was shutting down machines that had taken years to build. Her alien assistant, a crystal creature named Horth, watched with confusion. "Will the research continue somewhere else?" Horth asked. Katie looked at the alien. Horth had worked with humans for 5 years. He was a good scientist and had learned a lot from working with human teams, but he was still loyal to the Council first. "Not for the Council," Katie said. "Maybe somewhere else." Horth made a sound like breaking glass, which meant he was upset. "But this research helps everyone. The quantum processors you built are used all over the galaxy." "Then maybe the Council should have thought of that before they decided we were not mature enough for deep space exploration." Katie finished powering down the last machine and sealed the lab. The quantum processors that kept half the galaxy's computers running would have to be maintained by someone else now. Captain Ryan Hayes was pulling his fleet out of the joint patrol routes that protected Council shipping lanes. For 10 years, human ships had worked alongside alien vessels to keep pirates and raiders away from the trade routes. Admiral Clixten, the Throshan fleet commander, contacted Ryan's ship. "Where are your vessels going, Captain Hayes?" Ryan looked at his screen. Clixten looked like a cross between a shark and a robot. His species was one of the most aggressive in the galaxy, but they always acted like humans were the violent ones. "Are ending our patrol duties," Ryan said. "Ending them? But the shipping routes need protection. Then I suggest you protect them." Ryan cut the connection and gave the order for his fleet to jump to hyperspace. 30 human ships vanished, leaving the alien patrols to cover twice as much space with half as many vessels. The biggest move was happening on Nexus Prime itself. Engineer Sam Parker was shutting down the massive infrastructure systems that kept the station running. Most aliens thought he was just doing routine maintenance. Sam had built most of these systems himself. The power generators that fed energy to the entire station, the life support systems that kept millions of aliens breathing, the computer networks that managed everything from traffic control to waste recycling. His alien supervisor, a metal robot, named Unit 47, rolled up to him. "Engineer Parker, your maintenance schedule shows these systems should not be shut down for another 6 months." Sam did not look up from his work. "Schedule changed. I do not understand. These systems are critical. For station operations. I know, I built them." Sam finished downloading the last of the system files onto a portable drive and started packing his tools. Behind him, backup systems came online to keep everything running. They would work fine for a few weeks, maybe a few months. After that, things would start to break down. Unit 47 processed this information. "Will you be returning to complete the maintenance cycle?" "No. Then who will maintain these systems?" Sam shouldered his tool bag and headed for the door. "That is not my problem anymore." All across the galaxy, similar scenes were playing out. Human doctors were leaving alien hospitals, taking their medical knowledge with them. Human engineers were abandoning construction projects half-finished. Human scientists were packing up research that had taken decades to develop. The aliens were not worried yet. Most of them thought this was just a big show. Zeketh gave an interview to the Galactic News Network. "Humans are behaving like children," he said. "They are angry because they did not get what they wanted, so they are throwing a tantrum. They will come back within a month begging for forgiveness." On Nexus Prime, Chairman Veltar was meeting with his advisors. "How many humans have actually left?" he asked. "Approximately 40% so far," said his aide. "But most of them are just moving to different council systems. They are probably just making a point." Veltar nodded his tree-like head. "Good. When they realize how difficult it is to maintain their technology without council support, they will return. We may even be able to negotiate better terms with them." But the humans were not moving to different council systems. They were leaving council space entirely. Long-range sensors detected human ships heading toward the galactic rim, beyond the edges of known space. Lisa Martinez, now back on Earth, was coordinating the largest migration in human history. Every human settlement was packing up. Every human ship was being loaded with supplies. Every human facility was being shut down or abandoned. "Where exactly are we going?" asked Jake Turner. Lisa pointed to a star chart showing the galactic rim. "Out there, beyond their borders, beyond their rules, beyond their committees and reviews and voting sessions. That is unknown space. We have no idea what is out there." Lisa smiled. "Exactly. No aliens telling us we are too immature to explore. No councils voting on whether we deserve to mine the planets we discover. Just us and empty space and all the possibilities we can imagine." The evacuation took 3 months. By the end of it, there were no humans left in Galactic Council space. Not one. They had taken everything with them: their ships, their technology, their knowledge, and their skills. The aliens watched the last human transport ships disappear beyond the galactic edge and felt relieved. Finally, they could get back to the important business of running the galaxy, without having to deal with those troublesome humans. They had no idea that in a few months they would be begging those same humans to come back and save them all. 3 months after the humans left, Captain Vorth was having the worst day of his career. His cargo ship was supposed to arrive at the Centauri trading post 6 hours ago. Instead, he was floating in empty space, completely lost. Navigation. What is our position? He asked his crew. The navigation officer, a purple alien with too many eyes, looked confused. Sir, the hyperspace beacon network is giving us wrong information. According to our instruments, we are in 3 different star systems at the same time. Fourth made an angry growling sound. This was the 5th time this month that ships had gotten lost in hyperspace. The news networks were calling it navigation difficulties, but every ship captain knew something was seriously wrong. On Nexus Prime, Station Chief Korth was dealing with his own problems. The quantum processors that controlled the station's main computers were acting strange. They would work fine for a few days, then suddenly crash for no reason. He called his technical team to the control room. Have you found the problem yet? His lead technician, a robot named Servo-23, displayed a hologram of the processor systems. Chief Korth, we have identified the issue. The quantum processors are running on human-designed software. Without regular updates and maintenance from human engineers, the systems are becoming unstable. So fix them. We cannot, sir. The software is too complex. We do not understand how it works. Korth stared at the hologram. Are you telling me that our entire station depends on software that only humans understand? Yes, sir. Approximately 73% of our critical systems use human-designed components. This was bad news, but Korth was not ready to panic yet. He sent a message to the human settlements asking for technical support. The message came back with an error. No such destinations found in network database. That was when Korth realized the humans were really gone. Dr. Neil Vex was having his own crisis. As the galaxy's leading technology researcher, he had been asked to investigate why so many systems were failing. What he found scared him. He stood before the Council Science Committee and delivered his report. In the past decade, humans have contributed to 73% of all major technological breakthroughs in Council space. This includes improvements to hyperspace navigation, quantum computing, medical treatment systems, and communication networks. The committee members looked at each other nervously. But surely other species contributed to these developments, said one of them. Yes, but humans were the primary researchers in almost every case. They designed the core systems and provided the expertise needed to maintain them. So we can learn to maintain these systems ourselves. Dr. Vex shook his head. I have been trying to understand human quantum processor design for 3 months. The mathematics involved are beyond anything we have seen before. It may take us decades to figure out how these systems work, assuming we can figure them out at all. The committee was quiet for a long moment. Finally, the chairman spoke. What are you recommending, Dr. Vex? We need to contact the humans and ask them to return. Back on Nexus Prime, the problems were getting worse every day. The hyperspace beacon network was failing completely. Ships were getting lost in hyperspace for days at a time. Some never made it to their destinations at all. The trade routes that connected the galaxy were breaking down. Cargo ships would arrive at their destinations only to find that the receiving stations had no record of their shipments. Orders were getting mixed up or lost entirely. Commander Zix of the Velkari military was discovering his own problems. His weapon systems were malfunctioning during routine training exercises. Plasma cannons were misfiring. Targeting computers were showing wrong information. Shield generators were randomly shutting down. How is this possible? He demanded from his engineers. These are Velkari weapons, built by Velkari workers. His chief engineer looked embarrassed. Sir, while the weapons are Velkari designed, many of the control systems were upgraded by human engineers over the past 15 years. They improved the targeting accuracy by 40% and reduced power consumption by 25%. So fix the control systems. We are trying, sir, but the upgrades are integrated into the original design. Removing them would make our weapons less effective than they were 20 years ago, and leaving them means our weapons do not work at all. Yes, sir. Commander Zix realized that his mighty fleet was slowly becoming useless without human technical support. The worst problems were happening at the edges of the galaxy. The long-range sensor networks that watched for dangers from outside known space were going dark one by one. These sensors had been humanity's contribution to galactic defense. They were placed far beyond the normal shipping routes, in empty space, where nothing ever happened. Most aliens had forgotten they even existed, but now they were failing, and the galaxy was becoming blind to whatever might be coming from the darkness between the stars. Admiral Clixton was the first to understand how serious this problem was. He had been reviewing the defense reports when he noticed that huge sections of the galactic edge showed no sensor data at all. "How many sensor stations have we lost contact with?" he asked his staff. 47 stations are completely dark, sir. Another 33 are showing intermittent signals. What is causing the failures? His aide looked uncomfortable. "Sir, all of the failing stations are human-designed and human-maintained. We have had no contact with human technical teams for 3 months. Clixton felt something that sharks were not supposed to feel: fear. "So we are blind to threats from outside the galaxy?" "Yes, sir." Meanwhile, Chairman Veltar was facing a crisis in the council chambers. Representatives from dozens of species were demanding answers about the growing problems across the galaxy. "Cargo fleets are losing money because they cannot navigate properly," complained the Throshan trade representative. "Our medical centers are running out of medicines because the supply chains are broken," said the Gornathi health minister. "Our military readiness is down 40% because our weapon systems are failing," reported the Velkari defense chief. Veltar raised his branch arms for quiet, but the angry voices continued. Everyone was talking at once, and everyone was blaming the council for the problems. "Perhaps," suggested one representative, "we should consider contacting the humans and asking them to return." The chamber went quiet. This was the first time anyone had officially suggested bringing the humans back. Zeketh stood up angrily. "Absolutely not. Humans are a primitive species that left because they could not handle proper galactic citizenship. We will not beg them to return." "Then how do you suggest we solve these problems?" asked the Gornathi representative. "We will learn to maintain these systems ourselves. We are intelligent species. We can figure out anything humans can do." But 3 more months passed, and things only got worse. The hyperspace network collapsed completely, cutting off entire star systems from the rest of the galaxy. Communication networks failed, leaving colonies unable to call for help. Medical treatment centers ran out of supplies because cargo ships could not find their destinations. Most frightening of all, the sensor blackouts at the galactic edge were spreading. Long-range patrols sent to investigate the dark zones simply disappeared. No distress calls, no debris, no sign of what had happened to them. The galaxy that had once been connected by human technology and maintained by human expertise was falling apart. And somewhere beyond the galactic rim, the humans who could fix everything were building a new life far away from the council and its problems. Chairman Veltar sat in his private office and stared at the reports piling up on his desk. Every day brought news of more failures, more problems, more systems breaking down. For the first time since the humans had left, he wondered if maybe the council had made a mistake. 8 months after the humans left, Captain Morse was dying in deep space along with his entire crew. His cargo ship had been trying to reach the mining colonies in the Vega system when the hyperspace beacon network failed completely. Now he was stuck between star systems with no way to navigate home. His ship's computer showed his location as unknown. The emergency beacon was broadcasting, but there was no one to hear it. The communication networks had collapsed weeks ago. "Captain," said his first officer, "we have enough life support for maybe 10 more days." Morse looked at his crew. They were all good people who had signed up for what should have been a routine cargo run. Now they were going to die because nobody knew how to maintain the systems that humans had built. "Send another distress call," he ordered, even though he knew it was useless. Across the galaxy, thousands of other ships were in the same situation. The hyperspace beacon network that allowed safe travel between star systems had suffered complete collapse. Ships that tried to jump to hyperspace without beacon guidance either got lost in the endless dark or crashed into stars. On Nexus Prime, Station Chief Korth was dealing with total system failure. The massive space station that housed the Galactic Council was shutting down piece by piece. Life support is down to 60%, reported his chief engineer. Artificial gravity is failing on levels 40 through 60. The water recycling system crashed this morning. Korth felt sick. Nexus Prime was home to 12 million beings from hundreds of different species. If the station completely failed, they would all die. How long do we have, he asked. Maybe 2 weeks before life support fails completely, less if we lose main power. Can we evacuate the station? His engineer made a sound like breaking metal. Sir, the docking bay control systems failed yesterday. We cannot safely launch or land ships anymore. Korth realized they were trapped on a dying station in the middle of space, just like Captain Morse and thousands of other beings across the galaxy. The military situation was even worse. Admiral Clixton stood on the bridge of his flagship and watched his fleet fall apart around him. Half of his ships could not leave dock because their launch systems had failed. The other half were floating in space with dead weapons and broken shields. Admiral, reported his weapons officer, the plasma cannon array is completely offline. Engineering says they cannot fix it without human technical support. What about the backup weapons? Also offline, sir. It turns out the backup systems use the same human-designed control software as the main weapons. Clixton wanted to roar with anger, but that would not fix anything. His mighty fleet, once the most feared military force in the galaxy, was now just a collection of expensive metal floating uselessly in space. The worst news came from his intelligence officer. Sir, we have confirmed reports of unknown ships at the galactic edge. They appear to be scanning our outer settlements. Unknown. Ships, what species? We do not know, sir. The long-range sensors that could identify them have been dark for months. This was exactly what Admiral Clixton had been afraid of. Something was coming from outside the galaxy, and the Council had no way to see it coming and no way to fight. Dr. Neil Vex was working frantically in his laboratory, trying to understand the human quantum processor designs before everything collapsed completely. He had the smartest scientists in the galaxy helping him, but they were all failing. The mathematics are impossible, complained Dr. Thrix, a crystal being known for his intelligence. Humans seem to use calculation methods that we have never seen before. Keep trying, Dr. Vex ordered. If we cannot figure this out, the entire galactic civilization will collapse. But even as he said it, Dr. Vex knew they were running out of time. Every day, more systems failed. Every day, the galaxy became a little more dark and broken. The medical crisis was the most heartbreaking. Dr. Senna ran the largest hospital on Nexus Prime, and she was watching her patients die because she could not treat them properly. The HFY healing chambers are failing, she told her staff. The bio-neural components that regulate the treatment cycles are breaking down. Can we repair them? Not without understanding how humans designed the bio-neural interface. The chambers use human medical knowledge that we do not have access to. Dr. Senna looked at her patients lying in the broken healing chambers. These beings had come to her hospital believing they could be cured. Now they would die because the technology that could save them was failing. Chairman Veltar was facing a complete revolt in the council chambers. Representatives from every major species were shouting and demanding action. The Gornathi colonies are cut off completely, yelled one representative. We have not heard from them in weeks. Our trade routes are destroyed, complained another. The entire galactic economy is collapsing. Unknown ships are approaching our outer worlds and we cannot even see them coming, said Admiral Clixton. Our defenses are useless. Veltar tried to call for order, but nobody was listening anymore. The Great Galactic Council, which had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years, was falling apart just like everything else the humans had built. The Velkari representative stood up. I move for a vote of no confidence in the current council leadership. Seconded, called out a dozen other voices. Veltar realized that he was about to lose his position as chairman, but that was the least of their problems. Even if they replaced him, the galaxy would still be falling apart. Wait, he said in his deepest, most commanding voice. Before you vote, I have something to say. The chamber quieted slightly. We all know what the real problem is, Veltar continued. When the humans left, they took with them the knowledge and skills that our civilization depends on. We can replace the Council leadership, but that will not fix our hyperspace network. It will not repair our weapons. It will not restore our sensor grids. The chamber was completely quiet now. There is only one solution, Veltar said. We must find the humans and ask them to return. Zekth jumped up angrily. Never. We will not beg those primitive creatures to save us. Then what is your solution? Veltar asked. Zekth opened his mouth to answer, then closed it. He had no solution. The humans built the systems that keep our civilization running. Veltar continued. Only they know how to maintain them. Only they can fix what is broken. But they left, said the Gornathi representative. They went beyond the galactic edge. We do not even know where they are. Then we will find them. That night, Veltar authorized deep-range search missions to locate the missing humans. It was dangerous to send ships beyond the galactic edge, especially with the navigation systems failing. But they had no choice. The search fleets launched the next morning, carrying the hopes of trillions of beings whose lives depended on finding the species they had once dismissed as too primitive for galactic society. But as the ships disappeared into the darkness beyond the galaxy, everyone wondered the same thing. Would the humans even want to come back? And if they did return, would they be willing to save the civilization that had rejected them? Time was running out to find the answer. The search fleet found the humans 3 weeks later, and Captain Yorth could not believe what he was seeing. Beyond the galactic rim, where there should have been empty space and darkness, there was a thriving civilization. Dozens of human colonies, spread across multiple star systems, massive space stations that made Nexus Prime look small and outdated, ships using technology that seemed decades ahead of anything in Council space. Contact the human authorities, Captain Yorth ordered his communications officer. Tell them we have an urgent message from the Galactic Council. The response came quickly. This is Admiral Jake Turner of the Independent Human Coalition. State your business. Admiral Turner, I am Captain Yorth representing Chairman Veltar of the Galactic Council. We need to meet with your leaders immediately. There was a pause, then. Follow the beacon to Earth Station. Do not deviate from the approved flight path. As Captain Yorth's ship approached the human station, he saw things that amazed him. Human ships working alongside vessels from alien species he had never seen before. Construction projects that covered entire moons. Technology that seemed to work perfectly without constant repairs and updates. Earth Station was 10 times larger than Nexus Prime, and obviously much more advanced. The docking procedures were smooth and efficient. The life support systems worked flawlessly. Everything the humans touched seemed to run better than anything in Council space. Admiral Turner met them in a conference room with windows looking out at the bustling human colonies. He was older now, with gray in his hair, but his eyes were sharp and confident. Captain Yorth, he said politely, what can the Independent Human Coalition do for you? Captain Yorth had prepared a speech about mutual cooperation and shared interests, but looking at the thriving human civilization outside the windows, the words seemed stupid. Admiral, the Galactic Council needs your help. Our systems are failing. Our people are dying. We cannot maintain the technology that our civilization depends on. Admiral Turner nodded. I see. And what makes you think we should care about that? The question caught Captain Yorth off guard. He had expected the humans to be eager to help like they had always been before. Because we are all citizens of the same galaxy, we should help each other. Are we? Admiral Turner asked. Citizens of the same galaxy? Because 8 months ago the Council told us we were not mature enough to be citizens of anything. You suspended our exploration rights and suggested we focus on service industries. Captain Yorth felt his confidence fading. Admiral, I understand that mistakes were made, but surely you do not want to watch billions of innocent beings die because of political disagreements. Political disagreements? Admiral Turner's voice got harder. Is that what you call it when you deny us the right to explore space we discovered? When you take credit for technology we invented? When you treat us like servants and then act surprised when we leave? Before Captain Yorth could answer, another human entered the room. It was Lisa Martinez, but she wore the uniform of a president now instead of an ambassador. "Captain Yorth," she said, sitting down at the table. "I have been in contact with Chairman Veltar. He has explained the situation in council space. Then you understand how urgent this is. I understand that the council is facing the consequences of its actions. Tell me, Captain, how many humans have died while trying to reach council space with help?" Captain Yorth looked confused. "I do not understand." "Ships," Lisa explained patiently. "Human ships that tried to return to council space to help with the crisis. How many of them made it through your failing hyperspace network?" I do not know of any human ships attempting to return. That is because we sent none. We learned months ago about the problems in council space. We could have sent help immediately. We chose not to." The silence in the room was heavy. Captain Yorth realized that the humans had known about the crisis all along and had deliberately done nothing to help. "Why?" he asked. Lisa looked out the window at the thriving human colonies. "Because for the first time in decades, we were not obligated to fix someone else's problems. We were free to build our own future." Admiral Turner leaned forward. "Do you know what we have accomplished in 8 months of freedom, Captain? We have established 47 new colonies. We have made first contact with 3 new alien species who are eager to trade with us as equals. We have advanced our technology by decades. And most importantly," Lisa added, "we have built a civilization based on cooperation instead of bureaucracy. Our new alien partners do not tell us we are too immature for exploration. They do not vote on whether we deserve to use the resources we discover. They work with us because we are useful to each other." Captain Yorth felt desperate. "President Martinez, I understand your anger. But surely you would not let billions of beings die because of past injustices." Lisa was quiet for a long moment. Then she touched a control on the table, and a hologram appeared showing the space beyond the galactic rim. "Captain, are you aware that unknown ships have been detected approaching the galaxy?" "Yes. Our intelligence reports mention unidentified vessels, but our sensor networks are too damaged to get detailed information." "We know what those ships are," Admiral Turner said grimly. "Our sensor networks are working perfectly." The hologram zoomed in to show massive alien vessels unlike anything Captain Yorth had ever seen. There were hundreds of them, moving in formation toward the galactic edge. "Who are they?" he whispered. "We call them the Devourers," Lisa said. "They are a species that consumes entire civilizations. They strip planets of all resources and leave nothing but empty space behind." "How long before they reach council space?" 6 months, maybe less." Captain Yorth felt terror wash over him. The council was defenseless against any military threat, let alone something this massive. "You have to help us," he said. "If the council falls, these Devourers will consume the entire galaxy." Lisa and Admiral Turner exchanged glances. Then Lisa spoke again. "The Independent Human Coalition is willing to provide assistance against the Devourer threat, but not to the Galactic Council." "I do not understand." "The Council is a failed government that has proven it cannot protect its own people," Lisa explained. "We will not waste our time trying to save a dying bureaucracy." "Then what are you proposing?" Admiral Turner activated another hologram, this one showing a detailed military plan. "We propose a mutual defense alliance between the Independent Human Coalition and any species willing to join us, not as members of our government, but as equal partners. An alliance of equals," Lisa continued, "where decisions are made by leaders who understand the situation, not by committees that spend months debating every action." Captain Yorth studied the military plan. It was comprehensive and clearly designed by people who understood both the Devourer threat and the realities of galactic defense. "What about the species that are trapped on failing stations and lost ships?" "We will send rescue missions immediately," Admiral Turner said. "But the beings we save will be relocated to safe worlds under Coalition protection, not returned to Council space." "And the Council government?" Lisa's smile was not entirely friendly. "The Council is welcome to join our alliance as equal partners, but they will not be in charge of it. Captain Yorth realized what the humans were offering. They would save the galaxy, but only on their terms. The old system of alien species ruling over humans was finished forever. "I need to communicate with Chairman Veltar," he said. "Of course, but Captain, you should know that we are not the same humans who left Council Space 8 months ago. We have grown stronger, smarter, and much more confident. We will save the galaxy because it is the right thing to do. But we will do it our way." That night, Captain Yorth sent a message back to what remained of the Galactic Council. The humans would help, but only if the Council agreed to complete reorganization of galactic government. The response came within hours. "Agreed. Send all available assistance immediately." Over the next few months, human rescue ships pulled thousands of beings from failing stations and lost ships. Human engineers restored critical systems across the galaxy. Human scientists shared new technologies that made everything work better than before. But the galaxy they saved was not the same galaxy. The humans had left. The old council was disbanded and replaced with the Galactic Defense Alliance, where humans and aliens worked together as equals to face the Devourer threat. Engineer Sam Parker stood in the restored control room of Nexus Prime, working alongside alien technicians to prepare the station's defenses. The old systems that had been failing for months now worked better than ever. "Sam," said his alien assistant, Unit 47, "I have a question." "What is it?" "Why did you come back? After the way the Council treated your species, why did you return to help us?" Sam looked out at the space around Nexus Prime, where human and alien ships were working together to build new defensive systems. "Because this is our galaxy too," he said. "And because sometimes the best way to prove you are not a servant is to choose when and how you help." In the distance, early warning sensors that had been dark for months were coming back online. The galaxy could see again, and what it saw was the massive Devourer fleet still approaching. But now the galaxy was ready, humans and aliens working together, not as masters and servants but as partners facing a common threat. The species that had once been dismissed as too immature for Galacti